Hey everybody, Eric here, back on the water again. I'm kayaking this time, and I want to share with you a lesson from this week. So, everybody asks me how they can become a better leader, and obviously that's a big question. There's a million different ways you can answer it. But for me, to feel I have command over something, I need to be able to explain it succinctly, which is why I put everything into a framework. So for me, the most essential distilled framework for leadership is to define, communicate, train, and reinforce your values. Okay? Leadership is all about values. Culture is all about values. Everything else is management, right? Driving performance, motivating, incentivizing, et cetera, is all about management. But leadership is about creating and nurturing a culture that's in alignment with your values. And with that framework, with that structure in place, the outcomes that you're looking for will naturally and organically occur, okay? So how do we do that? Again, start with defining your values. There's a lot of tools out there, free tools on the internet. There's one that I like, just Google personal values, which is essentially just, you sort of choose values from a list that resonate with you and then stack rank them to come up with your 5 or so core values. And then the next step is to define them in your own words, what those values mean to you, all right? And this is where a lot of companies stop, right? They come up with these values, honesty, integrity, accountability, excellence, and they slap it up on a wall somewhere and they forget about it, right? And then nobody knows what it means and it doesn't drive any change. And so the next layer is where it gets real. And that is to enumerate and illustrate the behaviors that either embrace or defy those values, okay? So you pick a value like, say, honesty. And you could say something like, I'll always tell the truth, I'll never tell a lie. But you need behaviors that are real world and in context that are examples of that behavior. So say you have a software developer who is honest. They will own up to mistakes, right? Or they will communicate when there is a problem in the code, right? If they had to cut corners or take shortcuts because of deadlines. Somebody who is honest will be open about that. Somebody who is dishonest will sweep that under the rug, right? And so going through and enumerating these behaviors for these different values will make it tangible, make it real, okay? And so at this point, you take it to your team and you have them go through the same exercise and you come together and you share and you look for where do we share common values, where do we maybe have divergent values, and have everybody kind of illustrate for themselves what those values mean to them and what behaviors, again, embrace or defy those values for them. Okay, the next layer down is creating or translating these into principles, right? Which are commitments, they're promises that align with those values. So if you say the value is honesty and somebody who is honest will openly communicate mistakes, then the principle would be, I will strive to always communicate mistakes, right? It's that simple. So you come together, you share, you create the shared set of values, behaviors, and principles, and then you codify that together in a team charter, okay? So now everybody is in agreement. Now the reinforcement comes in. This is where you're training people and reinforcing those values. So in every opportunity you have, every touch point or interaction you have with your team, you look for opportunities to recognize, again, the positive and the negative behavior, right? Through praise and recognition, through, reprimanding, through rewards and so on, and opportunities. And then to go even further, you encourage the team to do this to each other, the peer-to-peer recognition as well. And so we do something I like to call core value callouts, where maybe at an all-hands meeting or at a retrospective, you give the team the opportunity to recognize one another for embracing those values, okay? And then they will internalize and they'll take ownership of it, right? Because when it's just the manager doing it, when it's top down, it works to some degree, but obviously it's a lot of burden on your plate, and you're just a factor of one. You can scale that by having everybody in the team sort of crowdsourcing leadership, okay? Another thing too, millennials are in charge now. right? And we don't like top-down management, top-down leadership. We like ownership and accountability and autonomy. And we are more motivated by our peer group than we are by authority, okay? So again, define, communicate, train, and reinforce your values is the number one most foundational framework for leadership. And with that, have a wonderful weekend. See you next time.